She said, "Oh."
So, where's Grandma's kimchi?
It's at her house.
I was promised kimchi.
I don't have any because she still sees that I have some in the fridge. But I want new kimchi.
I'll just come steal your kimchi then.
Like, she should know better that there are stages of kimchi. I need all the stages at the same time.
Of course. Shoot, I wish I could keep kimchi in the fridge long enough for it to get old.
Well, like, it's like beyond the point of like I should make soup with this. I'm just like, is it make soup with this? I don't know.
Man,
I'm just
no.
work up the courage.
My problem is I've got Adam in the house. So Adam sees we've got kimchi. And Adam will, every time he walks by the fridge, he's got to stop and get some kimchi.
At this point, it's like kimchi alcohol. It's probably even kimchi vinegar now. It's so gross. But and, I made some Korean bulgogi, like barbecue, but I used like way too much sauce, which I think is fine. I think it gives it more flavor. But Casey's at the point where she's at her like preeclampsia danger zone.
So she's like, no, thank you.
I'm like, it's fine. They'll just give you magnesium. You'll be okay.
Alex, we have viewer.
Just one?
Hi, viewer.
Oh, no. How come my chat ain't working?
Connection was reset, it says.
What does that even mean?
Speaking of connection, we've been having some Xfinity fun today.
Yeah, I know. I've been getting updated.
I don't think it did anything.
It hates me.
Oh, nice what?
We're getting our impact sprayers that were on back order.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah. Dude, I used a Zep bottle for the first time on Sunday. I liked it. We should carry those.
What, Zep bottles?
Dude, it's like kind of badass. My grandma's going to steal it from me because she was very impressed and she wants it.
Let her have it. She deserves it. How much free kimchi was she giving you?
Hey, Alex, you got chat? Do chat overlay.
Oh, okay. No one's saying anything. Everyone's shy right now.
It doesn't show on my side either. So we don't need that. Dude, what is wrong with this? You can unchat overlay, it doesn't. So I don't know what to do.
Is everything running through Restream?
Yeah. I mean, I reckon we can, at least for now, we can go to YouTube. I did that last week and I just assumed. Mute this.
Mute that.
But that's only YouTube chat.
It doesn't, just had to redo 2 windows after noticing black fuzz in each window. That was fun.
Who did that?
Travis Lee.
Oh, Travis. What you're seeing in the background here, Travis, I can come over here so you can see me. Hi. This is my truck. And I've only had it since, I don't know, I think July of last year. And I haven't tinted the doors yet because I have excuses. Many of them. So give me a second. I'm going to go get tools because I don't have those either. All right. First things first, though. Everybody, anybody that's here, how is our audio? Because that's important. Perfect. Alex doesn't like to tell me things.
It's actually doing good this time.
I don't even believe you.
Travis said, I got my Charger back in July, still driving the fishbowl.
Dude, invite me down. I'll come tint it for you. Oh, what the hell's going on? I got some hydrophobic ass windows. And I don't even care. It'll be fine.
Dude, guess what somebody did today? They bought 10 bottles of 8-ounce Squeaky Monkey.
I mean, they wanted to make sure they had enough.
Sometimes you get yourself in that kind of a situation where you never want to run out again. I'm fortunate. I'm putting Supernova on my doors, which is a little less aggressive on initial tag. So that's kind of good on one hand because I'm kind of banking on me still being able to position it with as hydrophobic as these windows are. And I have no idea why they're hydrophobic like that. It's dumb.
Travis is wondering how you apply squeaky.
Oh, well, I guess I should probably give you a demonstration.
Probably should.
Okay, well, we're going to do that on the next window because as you can see, I am already here with a piece of tint. So I will be happy to show you. Now, is this supposed to be an infomercial? I'm really new at promoting products because I don't know. I'm not much of a promotion type person. So, but this door panel stuff that we got going on here, this is Matt's Glacade door panel guard. I don't know what he calls it, but it's this stuff. It's just like draping tape, except it's got his seal guard tape instead of that masking tape crap that
Gets wet and falls off.
gets wet and falls off. So I really, really like it. I haven't used it, but I hear good things about it, and I'm like, well, heck, why doesn't my shop use it? So I figure, well, I'm over here tinting. I should probably check it out and see if I can mess things up here with it. And so far, so good. And Juan, the prep guy, he loves it. He doesn't love it when we get those certain cars, you know, the ones that's got all the stuff all over the windows that make, or all over the doors that makes them shiny.
Oh, like the Armor All and
Yeah. So
those greasy, nasty things.
I don't have a towel because I'm really bad at my job. I am on week number 2 of tinting, and I'm getting better. Juan will tell you, I'm getting better at bringing towels to the game, but I'm still not good at it. Oh, I got no juice.
It's okay. By the time you find your groove again, right about that time is when Charles will come back.
Thank God, because I am having such a hard time being here.
Well, shoot.
Hey,
Alex.
on a different note, how are you liking that dehydra?
He doesn't know.
What's up, Brittany?
Have you seen my nephew?
Yes, I did.
Hold on. Let me. Oh, look at him.
Oh.
Isn't he so cute?
Yeah.
He's just like the cutest baby ever.
Did I bump it?
Every day I get pictures of him.
Or am I just not in frame?
You want to see a picture daycare sent to me?
Yes.
Brittany, you know what'd be super cool?
What?
If you wasn't crocheting right now.
I'm watching.
No.
Oh, that's your thing.
The
Are you
camera
making your
says we
nephew
can't
a
see it
outfit?
twice.
I'm making him a hat.
All right, let's take a vote, everybody. Can you see Brittany's face?
Yeah.
And I don't mean like her forehead looking down at her crochet needle.
No, I keep looking up. I've been reading you chat. How would I do that if I was looking down the whole time?
Those mom eyes that you have that sees people when you're not looking.
Those Oh gosh, I'm on the fence on if I want to say those don't exist because I have a child in the room.
Yeah, if he finds out they don't exist, he's going to try more things.
Oh. Michigan.
If you can't spell Michigan, maybe we should move you to an easier to spell state like Iowa.
You know,
Find some information about my specific states. Perfect. Do it. You've got this. You're so good at Google.
So if anybody's wondering, this is the stuff that I use. This stuff's awesome. It peels.
oh, Sean says hi. Sean Vogler.
Oh, hi, Sean.
Peels out.
It has been a minute. How are you?
Sean Winters?
Vogler.
Oh. We know too many people with the same first name.
Dude, I haven't seen Sean in a while. I think he's been like trying to focus more on his TikToks.
No, the fun colored hair isn't in season at the moment.
She's like in full mom mode. She doesn't,
I've been too tired. Honestly, I've just had a lot going on, and colored hair is a lot to take care of. It requires a lot of maintenance, and I just can't do it right now.
Rick, your camera froze.
My camera is on the move.
Yeah, he's.
It looks like it's in the ceiling.
It's
yeah,
okay.
on the live it does.
We'll straighten it up. We're
Is Rick bad at tinning? Yeah, of course he is.
This not being
He didn't ask if he's bad at it. He said, "Is he
that
back
actually reaches
to
a long
tinting?"
way.
Gosh, Alex, reading comprehension, sir.
All right, we're gonna bring this up.
So Rick is temporarily back to tinning because my nephew was born, and so my brother is taking time off. So Rick is filling in and making content.
Yeah, that's kind of delayed. Okay.
Yeah, Rick is the GOAT.
All right. All right. Is Travis Lee still here?
He hasn't said anything in a while. Travis, are you still here?
I think he is.
I think he is.
He probably is because he wants to know how to use the squeaky monkey. How's my feed on my camera?
He's black. Yeah, he's here.
Where's my camera black? Did it unplug? It's showing black on.
Looks like there's a lot of tires and things that could have gotten caught on, so just check the whole thing.
It's lit up. Interesting. Has it moved on the screen yet?
No, it's still black.
All right, we're gonna do this thing real quick. Video settings. Let's change cameras. Pick the IV cam. And I'll switch it back. There it is.
There we go.
Not sure why I decided it was going to do
I
that.
fixed it.
A little bit of delay action, but we're good. We're back. All right.
Well, it's just stream.
It is.
So what you were looking at was the stream, but I saw it pop back up on our end, so.
All
We were
right.
good.
All right, Travis. So you got your squeaky monkey, which this is just a sample bottle. And you got your scrub pad. White scrub pad or these tan ones are fine. Don't use the blue ones. They're too aggressive because the squeaky is aggressive. But what we're going to do is if you spray the window and you see beading, actually this window is way better. So we're not going to see beading, but we're going to use it anyways. You don't want to have a really wet window because the squeaky monkey is a compound. So what we're going to do is we're going to take just a little dab. Little dab will do you. So just a little bit on the pad. And there's a couple ways you can do this. You can wet the pad or just lightly mist the window. See how much is on the window? Not much at all. No drips, not running. It's not wet. It's just moist. All that's going to do is add a little bit of lubricant. And then we're going to take it and rub it in a circle. See, that's the squeaky monkey. And it's doing the job. So as we rub it in the circle, we're going to get all the areas of interest. You know, I wasn't trying to do this because this is like real work. But we're doing it. Why not? So, and as you use it, you'll feel at first if you got a really, what do you call it, a really hydrophobic window, you're going to feel that it slides really easy at first, and then you'll feel a little resistant as it starts removing that coating. And then once you get done with that, my recommendation is you take a towel and you clean all the stuff out because again it's compound, so if you miss any and leave it behind, you're going to have compound in your film which looks like little dust speckles all over the place. So we'll try to get as much of this off as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be pretty darn good. And then we'll clean the window as normal. Now this window was already cleaned. See, look, we got like zero. Now it's, but I mean, it wasn't bad. The other one was worse than this one. So, and I'm just going to rub over it and feel everything. Looks like my prep guy missed a spot right there. Or I got a nick in the glass. We're going to find out real quick. Yeah, I know. That's a little pit in the glass. Somebody probably went ahead and got a seatbelt nick in the glass itself. Ha! That's terrible. Nobody wants that in their life. Same thing there. Oh well, lack of perfection. I'm telling you. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeegee all this down. All this down. We're going to pop the key back on for a second. Roll this up. We're going to wet this. And now I need a place for it to all go that is not someplace I don't want it. So I'm going to squeegee this all down. I'm going to open it up down here. And that's where we're going to run all the excess. Pretty cut and dry. We'll take this. So it's really important you flush these edges out nice, just in case you got any of that stuff in there. And now I can drop this down. And because this was up in there again, we're going to go ahead and wipe this top edge one more time. We're going to mist the window one more time. I don't need it really wet. I just need anything that got on the glass from being up in the seal, I need to remove. And then I'll just squeegee the whole thing back down one more time. So that's not too bad, right? Rinse that, rinse that. Matte sheet is doing a hell of a job. We'll go ahead and put a little extra on there because why not? Actually, I'm going to leave this over here. I'm going to run over and grab me another piece of tin. And just in case you're wondering, I got a keg with two outputs, two hoses. So I can leave one at the car and I still got one at the board. And I'll spin the camera around, let you see my setup in a second. Woohoo!
So yeah, Felix, yeah. We back when we released Squeaky, or right before, I think, I don't even think we had released it yet. We went through and all of the ways that people were saying they were dealing with the hydrophobic coatings, we went through and we made our glass boards where we hang our patterns hydrophobic and tested them all side by side by side. And I know that video is still somewhere out there. Torching it does definitely work. It's just there's some people that are really not comfortable doing things like that. And so Squeaky is kind of an answer for them.
Squeaky is the safe alternative. And don't get me wrong, I understand what a lot of people are like, well, torching it's safe. I know what I'm doing. And that's true, but that's not for everyone. And so Squeaky Monkey is 95% water soluble. So it isn't going to damage anything that water would not damage because it's no more harmful than water itself. Where other chemicals contain acid, which if your customer brings you a $130,000 vehicle that you got to remove a coating off their windows, torching it, you're not going to want the customer to see you do that on the inside of their vehicle. And spraying acid on the inside of their vehicle is probably not something you're going to want to share with them either.
Yeah, we had a lot of people saying, "Oh, I just rub wheel acid on the window." I don't know. Personal preference wise, if I was a customer and found out you were doing that in my brand new car, I don't know.
And honestly, Squeaky Monkey, I don't promote it anymore. Not because it doesn't work or it's not good, but because there's too many people that, I'll just say it like it is, can't do elbow grease. And like I stated before, it's a compound. The way it works is with an abrasive, which means you have to put your work into it. And just like I said when I was doing this window, I was trying not to have to do this because it is work. But everyone wants a shortcut solution. Let's throw fire at it or let's spray acid on it and it'll be way better than using that stuff that I have to actually work with. So I'm like,
Well, and it's not even all that. I think that, as you install and you get years of experience and you're exposed to more things, obviously you get better at what you do. But when you are using something that you've never used or you haven't used it very much, sometimes it's a little bit of a struggle to sit back and be like, okay, now I need to do these extra things. And sometimes you might not even know where to start. So definitely don't fault anybody for not using it. But, it's out there if anyone wants to. Mike Yant is talking to us, Rick.
nuh-uh.
He said Squeaky is a must-have for the rear windows and windshields. I'll torch a door, but too much flammable stuff on the front and rear.
Everybody missed it. So I Squeaky Monkey. I had a little bit of excess slip, but I had hydrophobic windows, so I was like, it's a good combination. So I just rolled with it. And then I'm like, yeah, let me just, I got in-channel vent visor, so I'm like, let me just roll this down and check. And yeah, when I rolled it up, the film slid down, which kind of made me feel sad because
Only kind of sad.
yeah, I mean, I'll move it. It'll be fine. I think. I hope. Jesus Christ. Unless, of course, my window wants to go rogue and just leave me. So we're going to go ahead and just lay that down a little bit there, that down a little bit there. We're going to roll this up a little bit there, just so I can break this free. Then we're going to go ahead and go like this. Now, this is something I don't recommend you try at home, and sometimes it works and sometimes it don't work. I'm going to hope to God today it works because you guys are watching. But I have to move this pattern up. So we're going to do that. The pattern moved up all by itself. Look at that. Magic. Now I'm going to put it back in place. Hate when that happens. I knew I should have just verified that I locked it in place, but I don't know. But yeah, so to give you an idea, that's how the ball bounces when you use Squeaky Monkey. It makes your slip just work a lot better. You guys saw the amount of effort I put into this window, and the other window didn't slide because it was tackier. It was more hydrophobic. Yes, that's a real word. I looked it up. I lied. I didn't look it up. Mike Yacht is watching. That's exciting.
Ooh, Mike Yant is calling you out.
He don't know.
He said a little heat on the top edge before roll up can prevent all that mess. Just saying.
Oh.
Mike's over there drinking his tea.
Is this window still in frame? Because I look like the camera's looking dead at me.
Yeah.
This little guy?
So
Yeah.
it is looking at you. The window is still good.
Oh.
It did like kind of move a little bit, but then
Yeah,
it came
it's
back
following
around.
me for some reason. So what Mike's wanting is a little bit of heat in a corner. And I know, Mike. That is absolutely what I should have done. And I see a lot of people heat in just the two ends. I like the heat in this middle spot here also, simply because I don't, I've had windows where the slip is just too slippery. And most people will tell you Rick likes his slip sticky. And that's because I don't like to take the time to heat it. I'd rather fight with the window. And if you fight with enough windows, you get kind of good at it. So there is that. All right, let me stop you from staring at me. We're going to put you back in frame. I think that it started staring at me because I did that thing with my hand on the window, and it's like, oh, he wants me to follow.
And yeah, you know what? Speaking of Mike, I haven't seen you in a minute. Haven't heard from you
He
since
was
I've been
just
back
here
in
in
the
town,
shop.
and he was just here in town, and he says, well, just don't tell Brittany I was there.
He better not have been in town. And he didn't come to the shop. Wow, Mike. Feeling really loved.
It was a short visit, and the only reason I got to see him, I think, is because
He wanted to pick up supplies.
he had a buddy here that wanted some tint stuff, so he was like, I just need to run by and grab a couple things.
He's doing good. He looked healthy.
Oh, good. I mean, it's all good that he's doing good, but like, let's be honest. When Brittany's asking how you're doing, she's actually asking, how's your dog?
I got a little crinkle, and I didn't get it while I was laying it, but I did get it while I was moving it.
Yeah, being on live again is cool. It's not going to last too long, though. Rick will be probably back in Sun, like next week?
Absolutely.
So
100% next week.
enjoy it while it lasts, my loves. Enjoy it while it lasts.
I don't know. We should take a vote. How many viewers we got?
We have 11.
11? God, that's more than me and Alex ever get. So let's take a vote. How many people want to see Brittany join in from Tint Squad on Tuesdays?
Who wants to see Rick buy Brittany a computer so she can join from Tint Squad every week?
Baby steps, Brittany. Slow down. Besides that, don't you know how that works, Brittany?
No.
If Rick's buying anybody a new computer, Brittany will be getting a hand-me-down.
That's fine. This computer is freaking beastly. I would take it.
Not that hand-me-down. That computer is still a beast.
This computer is awesome.
How old is that thing?
You got it.
I think you got it when I came back.
I feel like
I want to say it was either right before or right after Sun moved to its own building.
I felt like it was in the 20 teens. No, I had it here. I bought it because we were here trying to do Photoshop stuff. And we
That's
couldn't.
right. That's right.
No, it was
I
actually
think
Premiere.
like 5 years old.
Gosh.
Squeaky monkey.
It was like 2018 or 2019.
I don't know. I mean, this computer's been around for a minute and it is still awesome.
Well, I remember you guys. I remember the rendering queue being processed in the computer where everyone hung out in the back, and then we were like baffled by like how long the queue took on the Alienware. We were
Oh my
like,
gosh,
whoa.
yes. I used to sit and be making videos for you guys or photoshopping product photos or whatever, and it used to take so long. It was so painful. And then we got this computer and it was just like instant.
It was like
It was so good. And this computer, even being a few years old, it still really holds its own. So
yeah, it was something. Let's see. I'm going to set this over here because I'm going to wander around a bit. I got a microphone. I got a camera that'll follow me. I might as well use it. I
I
Brittany.
agree, Travis. The computer does sound like a good trade.
Yeah, so that computer, I had people like, you spent how much on a laptop?
But it's
It was
such
like
a good
$2,500, but fast forward 5 years and it's still dominant, and so, I mean, don't get me wrong, for $2,500, you won't get half the computer now because of inflation, but I mean, timing was good with that computer.
I mean, I bet it's got an RTX 3000 series, and like those are still like badass to have right now.
Oh yeah. So Mike said congrats to the family on the new edition. Mike, you weren't here yet when I showed everybody how super cute my nephew is. So I'll show another picture so that you can see too. Look at him. Isn't he just the most adorable baby you've ever seen? Jose!
Jamal?
He says, yo.
We like Jamal. It says it's 73 degrees in here. No wonder I feel a little warm. I thought it was because I was working. Hey, everybody that's been following along with my diabetes today, I am officially under pre-diabetes, which means I'm in the normal people range, like normal folks. It's exciting.
It's the first time in Rick's life he's been normal. He doesn't even know what to do with himself. We're also thrilled for him.
Can we?
Jose wants to know what's up.
Who that?
Jose, he wants to know what's up.
Jamal. He don't want Jose. He only lets people like you call him Jose.
Oh, I'm so honored.
You are. I'm going to make this one big for just a second because then I need to come over here.
What's wrong with yours?
Make that one small for a minute. And then I'll just be back here in the background every now and again. Because, we got Alex's big head in there and then Brittany's little knitting head.
It's not knitting, it's crocheting. They're different.
Whatever.
I feel like dyed color stabled.
For everybody that's like been following along or not been following along with Brittany, most people know Brittany's got a bunch of kids at home. So she's got that whole mom vibe thing going on, like strong. But she just became an aunt.
I know, I'm so excited.
Now she sits here and she's like crocheting and shit, like weird stuff. I'm telling you.
That's what set you over the edge.
I don't even.
Long time. What have you been up to? I have just been working at the shop again, so that's super cool. Trying to avoid both of my parents and their active attempts at dying on me. I have a new nephew. I have a kid in high school now. Yeah, super weird. You know, like life's just been going on. Things have been good. You know, we're all healthy. We're happy. So really, no complaints. Thought you were doing PPF. I am. Actually, that's why I missed the live last Tuesdays because I was working on the most beautiful 24 Stingray. Loved that car.
It was quite amazing.
It was a really, really beautiful car.
But she was a hot mess, so she wouldn't let me go over there during Tool Talk and
No.
show everybody here.
I mean, you guys know what's up. Like, my knees were all wet. Well, my knees and calves were all wet from being on the floor working on rockers and stuff. I was dirty. Oh, your camera disconnected.
Yeah,
It just notified me.
I just unbroke it. By unbroken, it actually broke it, but it didn't break.
And yeah, no, the tint world is very small. Like, you go to like one conference and just all of a sudden everybody knows you. Or everybody has a friend that knows you. Why?
Oh, that isn't what I wanted. I said go big.
Yo, speaking of Tint World being small, we had a customer come in just as Carlton was leaving, and he was like, "Yo, that Mustang is sick." And he was like, "Wait, that Mustang looks so familiar. Like, I think I've seen it on the internet somewhere." And I was like, "Oh, Ricky Rapp's Mustang." He was like, "Yo, that was Ricky Rapp's. I just watched him on Instagram the other day." Like, he was like a Ricky Rap fanboy. I was like, "Oh, okay. I see you, Carlton."
Do you want me to turn the camera on? Now I'm the big one.
No, you're the big one because you know you can drag and drop those.
I know. We're switching.
Is he doing a tint shop tour?
Kind of.
We're spinning the camera around and around.
Okay, so like my thing with that Corvette and why I loved it so much is, I mean, in part because my customer was so excited about it. I really like him. He's a very cool customer. We've done quite a bit for him. This was his first time ever getting PPF. You know, so he and I got to spend some time together going through that process, as one does. But he said as soon as he saw the Stingrays, he was like, no, I must have one. And he built it and built it and rebuilt it and rebuilt it and rebuilt it until finally he decided to pull the trigger on it. So, I mean, like, actually looking at this car, how he built it, you could tell every single piece was just so well thought out. And it was really cool to see how excited he was about it.
And then the rims.
Oh, yeah. So when he went to order it, because, you know, he wanted it with black rims, and his sales guy called him and said, listen, we can either order it right now with the silver rims, or you can wait for them to get the black rims back in stock, and I don't know how long it's going to be. Which, you all know how that goes. So the customer said, you know what? Just give me my car. I'll buy my own black rims. And so when we tinted it, which was a fun adventure, when we tinted it, it had silver rims. And then when it came back for PPF, it had the black rims on. So smooth looking. So smooth looking. But yeah, actually, when we went to tint it, we had him come in on a Saturday. I want to say it was our first or second appointment of the day. And the temperature sensor wouldn't let us drop the top.
Oh, that was that car.
That was that car.
Okay.
And so my brother came up here on Sunday when we're normally closed just to tint that back window for him. So, you know, customer was super duper happy.
And for those of you guys that ain't familiar with Michigan, that's because on one day it was sub-zero, and on the next day it was like 54 degrees. So, you know, you got to take it when you can get it with convertibles. And it happened to be on a Sunday.
We just had snow yesterday morning, and it's like almost
It's
70.
beautiful today.
Yeah, we're almost 70 today, almost 70 tomorrow, and then but by Monday next week, high of 36. It's going to be fantastic.
See, Rick keeps saying these things, ruining my life.
Oh, I got to stay in front of the camera.
I don't plan that far ahead. I don't need to know. It's not my business to know what's happening next Monday.
I just had an idea.
What?
Come down here and smile and be like, there.
Yep.
Oh, what happened?
It's decided it likes me more because I'm not trying to trick it.
I just tricked it. Now it likes you more. I'm
Yep.
going to pull my car out. So let me just,
Pull your car out?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Am I unmuted?
I
This
don't
car
know.
is too big.
It's so big.
It's like
Jeez.
a whole shop.
It doesn't fit in the warehouse.
No?
I mean, I suppose it would, but I mean, it wouldn't leave any room to do anything.
It just sounds like you need a can-do attitude.
I haven't had to.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I've had fun tinting this last month where I've had two Rick-sized trucks to tint, and they were both in my grandma's garage.
Oh, I was going to say, did you take him to Grandma's house?
Yeah, yeah. And
Oh, no.
there was like a half an inch to spare in front before it crashed into the back wall of the garage, and there was about a half inch left over when you shut the garage door. So it was literally the whole length of the garage. And so I had to use the back part of the cab to like get to the other side.
Listen, Alex, I've seen videos of those guys in Mexico that tent outside in sandstorms and get not one speck of dust. So I don't want to hear your excuses.
Wintertime.
Has Rick tinted his truck yet? Yeah. Yeah, he did it actually pretty early on. Let me see here. We do have a car coming in. It's almost 5 o'clock now. Yes. So here in about 15 minutes, we should have a Traverse that he will be doing the front doors on. So it's not all over yet.
I'll probably be out by then. My wife's on the way.
Oh,
Yep.
she's like,
Dude, she's like,
not waiting.
dude, she's super pregnant right now.
You be careful.
No, I mean, like,
you
I'm
praise
talking about
that.
like any, well, not any. She's like getting towards the end of her last trimester.
There you go. There you go, Alex.
Dude,
Because
it's
we need you at the
crazy.
warehouse for at least the rest of this week. So you can't do anything to make her kill you.
Any advice on toddlers and babies at the same time?
Okay, so I've got a story. So my oldest two, they're a year and a half apart. Okay. So that meant that my daughter and my son were both very little toddlers at the same time. I taught them when they were young that the black oil spots in the parking lot were children who weren't holding their parents' hands and got run over. And they believed it for so long. And the younger of the two of them, she just turned 13 at the beginning of February. And we were walking through a parking lot a couple weeks ago, and she was like, Mom, remember when you used to tell us that those spots were children that got run over because they weren't holding their parents' hands? And I was like, yeah, I remember that. And she started laughing. She was like, you're freaking mean. But like, whatever. It's the lesson of it, though, is hold my hand in the parking lot.
Rick did tint his truck.
Yeah, I told him.
Okay.
Yeah, you were outside.
That's why I didn't know.
I'm not Alex. I look at chat.
Alex looks at chat. He just doesn't relay.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He just doesn't
Yeah,
share.
well, I'm not gonna do it when nobody stops talking. I'm like not gonna be like, oh, stop talking. Let me read the chat.
Brittany does.
I do. I interrupt him.
Sometimes you just have to, because otherwise, if I don't know there's anything.
Well, and especially if it starts to go into left field.
Oh, you did it?
We still have questions about the thing we were actually talking about. You have to.
Rick joined the cult.
Yes, we're going from this to this.
Oh my gosh, you know what this means? I'm the last one on the family plan still to have a Galaxy.
And we have our backup one because, they ain't making the Note anymore. So just in case.
I love my Note.
There's a brand newish one sitting in a box.
I heard Rick was going to be at Tinder Battles.
Who?
Are you going to Tinder Battles?
I don't know, because we're like a month away and like it's not looking good. Things are just, this season kicked off late. Everything's chaos. Charles went and had a baby and needed to take a couple weeks off. So I'm doing as much as I can from over here, but there is a lot to button up around the warehouse. And yeah, I don't know. We're not gonna hold our breaths for that, which is terrible because I haven't missed a Tinder battle. There's only been 3?
Oh, same here. So does that mean that you might not be going? Oh, he's not going.
Who not going?
Jose.
Oh. Yeah, it's like wherever I go, Jamal's always there.
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say anything or not, because it might be information that I'm allowed to know and not everyone else. But I will say that Brittany might be able to participate at family reunion if she chooses to. And then that's
you see the problem with that, Alex, is then I'd have to go outside and see people.
Brittany is a great people person when she's on YouTube.
Yes.
And yeah.
People really make me tired. What happens at Tinder Battles and how are they judged? I don't know the specifics about Tinder Battles. I know that the WFCT, they have really strict rules and you can find those online. But Rick, you've been there.
Tinder Battles is way more for fun. So your time is definitely a factor in Tinder Battles, but also cleanliness. It's pretty much the same in any competition as far as, you'll get a panel of judges and each judge will critique each window and they'll score it based on, a starting score, and then they'll deduct points based on how many things they find, and the things are worth X value. Like a speck might be 1 point, but a big old splooge of water might be, 5 points, and a finger popping out of the edge might be 10 points. So those are all deductions off of the total score.
But these are not the specifics of how Tinder Battles does it. This is a generalization.
Yeah, but they all pretty much ride the same train as far as that goes. But Tinder Battles is more for the fun and hype and camaraderie. So you don't go to Tinder Battles hoping to walk away with $10,000 or $20,000 as the first prize, because they're not about that life. They let WFCT and Family Reunion do that whole cash prize thing. I want to hear 44 Tools did a thing, or that thing's going on this week, isn't it?
Yes, this weekend. It starts the 15th.
Oh, okay.
And I think Korean Brian is going to be there.
Yeah.
Oh, no way. Korean Brian.
Yeah, he just got first place at the little Autobahn competition. And
well, he's a great tenor.
Dude, he's
awesome.
He's badass. Imagine him just winning.
Probably almost as good as I am. I would have to say he's really close.
Really stroking your ego there, huh?
Well, I'm just saying like it is.
He's a competition winner, so
And
at what point? At one point,
I-
WFCT said that he was the best tinner in the world.
Yeah, that's because I wouldn't compete. I mean, I'm just
Oh,
telling it like it is.
I see.
You know,
I don't.
people have asked me why I don't compete, and
It's because he can't see.
the simple answer I used to could see, and the simple answer is I got nothing to prove. But I'm starting to realize that maybe I should prove some stuff because, like, so many people talk so much shit, and it just ain't real. So keep an eye out because one of these days I'm going to swoop in and take everything from everyone just because I can. And until then, just know that I can.
That guy should be moving to the States. Yeah, honestly. With how much
So
time Brian spends over here,
I
he really
know,
should.
I think he really wants to be here. I think it's family. And like by family, I don't mean just his blood family, but like his whole, if you ever watched him
Yeah, all your people.
and his shop and everything, he's got a whole family thing going on there. And like, I just don't think he could. And usually when he comes in, and I don't know if he did this time, but usually when he comes to the States, he brings most of them with him, you know, and I mean, that's huge. That's one area I can say he's got me outdone because I tried that bringing everybody one year, damn near broke me. And then to top it all off, the flight back, we're all smokers and we have like a 2 hour layover and
in Minneapolis.
all the way to Minneapolis, which is like the wrong freaking direction anyways. They're like, well, it's north. And I'm like, yeah, go fuck yourself. But anyway, so yeah, we got there and we almost became not family. And we were all scattered, walking separately through this huge ass Twin Cities freaking airport. And Brittany, like, I never realized somebody so short could walk so fast. She was like mad, big mad.
I was mad.
And all because we wanted to get over by where we needed to board before we got McDonald's.
I wanted food then. I was hungry. I did not have time to leave go outside security, smoke, and come back through security. So I knew I wasn't smoking. I at least wanted to eat. And he was like, no, we got to get to our gate.
Well,
Let's not get food now. We were
almost a mile from our gate. And like security, that was back when security was ridiculous anyways. It'd take you like 2 hours to get through security. But yet we've got 2 hour layover, an hour and 45-minute layover. Well, and there was, and I'm not getting stuck in Minneapolis. Yeah, I wasn't getting stuck there.
Well, and like not to mention, we were really spoiled on the way down because our first layover heading there was in Atlanta, and I've heard it's since changed, but at that time, you could go into the bar in the airport and smoke. So on the way down there, we were able to smoke during our layover. This time we weren't. We had just spent all these days together. We were tired of each other.
You had to cut your way into that bar at that airport through the smoke. It was so thick. It was amazing. Speaking of amazing, you know, I haven't had a cigarette in just over a month. Just in case anybody's wondering.
Michael Priestess says, I tell them, bring it, ha ha ha. And then he sent us a Spotify album.
I think he might be spam. I just checked him out.
Michael Priestess is one of our customers.
Yeah, you should know this.
He might also be spamming us.
It's Tint Master, single by Eurotronic Zoom. I love that.
That's cool.
Oh, so
we got to check that out later.
He makes music for Timbers.
Oh, it just says Zoom. Okay. Yeah, he has one song.
Well, you got to do.
I didn't mean to do that. I want to click it.
I clicked it. Oh, it's.
Brittany's like, I clicked it.
Yeah, see, Alex, he's not spam. I was going to say, that's one of our customers. I recognized his name right away.
He got a tint cap.
Oh, you know what?
Way back in the day.
On the old system.
Alex wouldn't remember.
Don't worry, Michael. I know who you are.
I know.
Even if Alex doesn't.
Well, I'm gonna like and subscribe.
You better.
You need to.
You better know.
I liked you.
Tisk tisk, Alex.
Tisk, tisk.
Disappointed.
What time is it? Oh my goodness, we're down to 4 minutes. I did
know.
maybe we didn't need to have those windows prepped before I don't know. I'm thinking to myself, we're doing tool talk. I'm going to be talking. I better have my patterns cut. We'll get those windows prepped and everything first. And I just went over there and handled it. And like, I kind of like it. I'm supposed to have a 5 o'clock something coming in, but I don't
It's
know what
a
it is.
traverse front doors.
Traverse front doors. So that'll be fun.
Tim! Hi!
Is that our T-Town friend?
Yeah.
I don't get to see the
Rick doesn't get to see the chat.
chat because Brittany's got it in a little window and I'm blind, so I can't see things. So
Well, I
good.
have to multitask. I have to be able to see what our stream is doing and also the chat. Tips on tinting rear window 23 Dodge Charger. Planning to do it next week.
Okay, so I can give you a good tip about that because if you don't do a lot of Chrysler sedans, you're going to find that peanuts are not your friend and peanuts are a real thing. Now, people are going to tell you, do this, do that. There's a million different ways. There's a million different ways that you can combat peanuts on back windows. And peanuts are those little finger bubbles that'll pop out of the defroster lines after you lay it. The main, most important thing that you can do is before you lay the window, start the car and turn on the rear defroster. That's going to make those lines hot. And in a Charger, they get really warm. Now, also, when you're squeegeeing it, you can do your first pass up and down across those lines, but your second pass with the squeegee, you're going to want to stay running the direction of the lines because you're going to get a lot of drying quick. And that's good, but on your second pass for sure. And personally, I do all my passes. I use a stroke doctor and I'll swipe from side to side on the first pass, and then I'll use my handled squeegee to go side to side for the second pass. And what the heat does is it's going to lock down around that defroster so that those fingers can't pop out of the defroster lines. Now, all the other stuff people say use a clay bar.
That's actually what Jose is saying right now.
That's a great option. Other people say use 2000 grit sandpaper. I'm personally not a fan of that idea, but 2000 grit wet sandpaper is probably not going to cause problems. I just don't like that idea. It's just something I've never felt I needed to do, but there's a lot of people that with feedback say that it works well. And I'm also not trying to take part of their car off of their car. You know, Chrysler, for whatever reason, made those defroster lines thick for a reason. That's between them and the engineers. But if I shave that down, and other people say back blade, which is just like taking a razor blade, and instead of scraping, they say drag it backwards, I guess backwards like this, if this is the edge of the razor blade and this is the window, you drag it backwards, and that's going to take a layer of those defroster lines off also. But we're not trying to take their defroster lines off because that's the way the engineers designed it. Although they don't work well for tinners, we found other ways around it, like using a clay bar. Clay bars are wonderful. And Squeaky Monkey was actually a good option too, but Squeaky Monkey's a little messy for a window that size when a clay bar is not. So that's always a great option.
And yeah, so he says, do you remove the rear deck or rear light? I see people say shrink slow.
Yeah, the more aggressively you shrink, the more you're going to have peanut issues. So if you can shrink slow, there's some people that pocket shrink. Pocket shrink's not one of those things that are really big in the mainstream, but pocket shrinking is about the smoothest you can shrink, and that's going to minimize things. I don't pocket shrink. I don't find it efficient enough, so I don't focus on that. I just dry shrink.
Jose says no, absolutely not to sandpaper.
I agree.
I think we're losing Alex. Let me get him out of here.
We lost
There we
Alex.
go. We got him. Yeah, he left.
What? He just bounced?
Yeah, his wife is there.
Oh.
Tim says, yep, I use clay bar and heat. Mike said, really concentrate on getting a very even shrink on the charger. Less tension in the window before laying helps combat the peanuts.
Yes.
All great tips.
Yes, but your fastest, quickest, easiest shortcut cheat is going to be that defroster grid. Having that on before you lay it, you could actually clean and prep it like you would any other window with the defroster grid on, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a good lay without the peanuts popping up. But the other stuff is important because my quick, easy, dirty cheat is not necessarily time proven. So over time, it might still pucker up, and we're not trying to do that. We got my traverse here, but we can just about call it a day, guys. I got another set of doors to do. Unless everybody wants me to stay on for a set of doors, I don't care.
I think that's why they came here.
They want to see
To see you tint.
And how many we got here?
We have 8 now. At one point, we got up to 16.
16.
But 8 people left us.
They hate us. It's because Alex left. See, he's got a fan club.
3 people have left since Alex did. That's okay. I've got my OGs. Jose says, when you install, make sure that you stretch your corners and squeegee out, and that will help big time.
Yep. Stretching's a good thing. What are we doing to this?
See, that's the other thing that these lives are really good for is when you ask a question, we've got a lot of veteran tinners in the chat that are like, oh yeah, this is what I do. So you get many options coming from a lot of years of experience. I don't have experience. My chat does, is what I'm saying. But you wouldn't know that unless you were actually watching me on the live, supporting me. It does. Let's see. So
did you say you can't support Brittany?
Let's go back up a little bit.
Oh.
Because
I said I can't. That goes in here.
Tib.
Audio's
Yeah.
not good.
Just slap it on, it'll look good from my house. Yeah, I mean, if you squat down, squint, and stay 16 feet away, it'll be great. Holy cow, you're back. Yes, yes. A little bit. I mean, at least for right now, for this week. I am a shop rat again, so I don't come on lives anymore, not really. I don't know. Seems like Rick would really like me to come back on lives, but we'll see how that works out. It's good to see you too, Jose, and everybody else, honestly. I have missed all of you. I really have. But yeah, you know, doing a lot of taillights, doing some PPF, which is really what I wanted to do to begin with. You know, I kind of got sucked into Sun and Tool Talk and all of that, which is still great. But, you know, at the end of the day, I wasn't getting to install much. And that was a bummer too in its own way. So. Let's see. Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like, gosh, I'm going to be PPFing my front hood on my new truck. Looks hard, but watch the YouTube, and I think I get the way you need to do it. What kind of truck is it? Most of what we do in our area, I mean, like, yeah, I was working on the Corvette last week, but like, that's not the norm. Most of what I do in our area are trucks and SUVs. Should do it more. Yeah, I like doing PPF. It's like really soothing. And especially once you've got enough years in that you're not struggling on every single job and you can kind of just go in and like mindlessly do it. It's a lot of fun. Silverado, 20, I think that's a 24. Let me look. Oh, yeah, I've done those. I have done those. I mean, you'll either get it or you won't, and it'll be okay either way. I think, because a lot of people don't know. When I first started working in the shop, Rick was teaching me how to tint. I didn't start on PPF and vinyl. I started on tint. I think one of the hardest things going from, especially from tint to PPF, is that these two products are like worlds apart. There's a lot of stuff that PPF can take that tint can't. And so you're sitting here like baby handling it, and you don't need to, not as much. It's not going to crinkle if you like look at it out the corner of your eye from 10 feet away. I went to PPF class in San Antonio. San Antonio. Yeah, it's just different. It's just different. And it's a lot of like wrapping your mind around what the film is trying to tell you and then responding to that. And that's just something that you learn over time with different experiences. Kind of like shrinking different back windows in tint. Just because you can shrink a back window doesn't mean you can shrink any back window.
Are you tint whispering?
I am. Well, I'm PPF whispering right now. It is more time consuming too. Yes, it is. There are situations where sometimes you want to give it a little bit of time to dry up before you move on to other things, depending on what it is, stuff like that. And that's not something you really see in tint too much, or at least not to the level that PPF does it. But I mean, yeah, it takes a lot more time, but in a lot of cases, I'm covering a lot more area too. I think he might have taken his mic off or turned it off. Yeah. Yeah, and see, that's kind of the thing is, my brother is a tinner.
Test, test.
Is it on?
Test, test. Okay, it's on now.
Okay, there we go. My brother gets big anxiety about like customers and just needing to get stuff out right now, right now, right now. And me, I'm like, whatever, it'll take 3 days. I'll see you then.
I don't get big anxiety.
No, Rick doesn't get big anxiety.
So let's
Rick
talk
is the
about
anxiety giver.
let's talk about that for a minute, because that's a very important thing in anybody's shop, and a lot of people, they're afraid to hire somebody to run the front. The person running the front has a very unique set of skills, and it doesn't just it's not only selling tint and showing tint, delivering cars, answering phones, although that's a part of it. One of the cool skills that they get is the unwavering ability to prepare the customer for what their expected wait time is. So a lot of times we will overlap cars like a lot. We'll have at 9 o'clock, a complete with a windshield coming in. At 9:30, a set of doors coming in. And at 10 o'clock, another complete coming in. But they have until like noon or 1 o'clock blocked off, and they give the expectation to each individual customer, and then they relay back to the tinner what needs to be done in what order. And if you trust that and you can allow those people to do those things, they'll maximize your ability, and you'll do an exorbitant amount of cars in a day without stress. But sometimes people will struggle a little bit because there's so much, so much going on at that moment. And we had an instance like that, I think it was last week here, where we had 3 cars here, and like it was like, oh my God, crazy. And I found myself getting a little bit choked up because it's like, having to stop on this car and jump on that car. But the reality was the customers were all prepared for exactly what they got. We actually over delivered to the customers. I was still slow because I hadn't tinted in a couple of years. So turns out I'm not as fast as I used to be. And it was fine, but I had to put my trust into the girls to handle the customer. The customer's not my job anymore. And that it makes them indispensable. Just saying.
Yeah, see, Jose, that's the thing is having to handle everything. Ugh, it's just exhausting. Honestly, when I'm in the middle of doing like an install, that's the thing is you don't get to pick when the phone rings. So it's not even like you can be like, oh, well, great, I've got a break right now. I could take a quick phone call. And so having somebody else to do that for you so you can kind of just stay in your zone and do what you do, it's awesome. I hate answering phones or doing literally anything when I'm in the middle of cutting patterns or thinking about how this install is going to go or prepping or installing or anything. I hate answering phones in the middle of any of it.
Well, plus when you're in the middle of doing an install or any kind of a situation where that's where your focus lies, when the phone rings and you have to answer it, you're less likely to make the effort to close that deal than you are if that is your job, is to answer the phone. So it's counterproductive to answer the phones while you're working. And I know a lot of people are like, well, I just don't answer the phone when it rings when I'm working. But the problem with that is a lot of customers are turned off if they try to call and nobody answers the phone. They're like, well, what happens if I have a problem and nobody's going to answer my call, and I'm just going to have to trust that you're going to call me back? And well, that's a real thing.
Yeah, there's a shop that we know of that he doesn't answer his phones. He has an answering service, or did. I don't know if he still does. But we used to get customers in all the time, calling or coming in, just mad because they would call up to just like ask a question really quick or something like that. And because it was an answering service, not somebody who knew anything about what this guy does, they wouldn't be able to answer that question. They would just be like, oh, yeah, we'll take this message and he'll call you back. And sometimes he didn't call back, or it would take him a long time to call back, where we were not super far away from him. So people would call us and be like, hey, I've got this question. And if we couldn't answer it, we could go to our tinner and get the answer right then, and they could get an answer right away.
Yeah,
and then when we got done doing that, they would be like, oh, yeah, because I called this other shop and they said blah, 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 blah. And people get really mad about that.
Yeah, this guy opened up a shop literally a quarter mile from us. So he actually helps feed our shop customers, because we not only answer the phone, the people that answer the phone have learned the ins and outs of the window tint game, and again, like Brittany just said, if they don't have the answer, they have a tinner right in the back that they can go ask real quick. So, and another thing about, how sometimes you get those phone calls and the customer's just paranoid about something. There's a little water pocket or something stupid. And, your go-to is to tell them, well, you got to let it dry. It's going to be a week or so, and it'll go away. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but that doesn't set some customers at ease where, now you got to stop what you're doing to go talk to the customer and look at it. And with people up front working the counter, it's so much nicer that they can go out there and say, yes, that's part of the drying process. And we also have those sheets that really help with what to expect from your new tint job, because then they can say, remember in the first paragraph where we talked about the water blisters? And they'll be like, oh yeah. And then everybody's mind's at ease, but it gives them the ability to invite the customer down to the shop to give them peace of mind. Even though we all know the answer is just let it dry, customers don't like to hear that all the time. Sometimes they just want you to hold their hand and reassure them. And if you want return customers, sometimes you got to hold the customer's hand and just reassure them. That's just how that is.
Here, I'll pop up in the chat for anybody who doesn't have this sheet. It's the very first thing on the resources page on the website if you want to download it and use it. Rick, there's no longer a camera on you.
Oh, my camera went rogue.
But yeah, no, it's nice because when they call up and they're all worried about it, I can tell them, it's still drying, so there's nothing at this moment I'm concerned about. But if it really worries you, when you have a moment, just pop into the shop and we can check it out for you. Oh, ceiling. That camera is really mad at you today.
It is. Let me just have a little talk with it. Hi. Can we do that? And then we're going to turn you and face you at the car. Can you do that? You think you could stay there? I'd appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, these lights are so bad for my forehead. The ones in my office when I was going live before were so good. These ones show every wrinkle.
Yeah, no, these lights are intense.
Oh my gosh.
These lights will show absolutely everything.
It is terrible. Yeah, there we go. I look so old under these lights. Hold on.
Well, we've got something like, I don't know, 150,000 lumens in here.
Yeah. When we go to tint and we turn the lights on, it's like the sun is in the building all of a sudden.
Most days it's brighter in the shop than it is outside.
Is that better? That's worse. It's worse. But whatever. My
Maybe
wrinkles
you
aren't
need a
showing.
hat,
I look
Brittany.
young.
Quick, somebody send Brittany a hat.
Yeah, I need a hat. Oh my God. If we're gonna be doing this, oh my goodness. I can't have these wrinkles on my forehead showing because the lighting in here is terrible.
Yeah, I couldn't. So back to that whole getting you on Tool Talk on Tuesdays. I can't imagine that there is a computer here that would actually handle streaming. I think they would all be angry.
Yeah, pretty sure.
A lot angry.
No, I'm done with this. This is not great.
How'd we do?
Jose's the best. He gives me compliments.
Well, some days you deserve compliments.
Most days I deserve compliments.
That's what you said.
That is what I said.
All right, there's one window. Now we're going to get creative with the next window.
Oh.
Because I don't think I have enough USB cable to reach it, but I do have magic.
I think you might.
No. I mean, I can get it kind of over there, but I can get it right here.
A lot better.
And you can tell me how that is.
That's very good.
See? I'm magic. Now just don't bump the car because it'll tip over. Hi. The bad thing.
No, that they were doing. What day were you guys doing the Fiat? Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
They're tinting a Fiat 500, and we're all sitting at the table, and we hear all this squeaking, and we're like, "Where's this noise coming from? What is squeaking?" It was the car. Every time they like got in or out of it, the car would shake and like.
Yeah, it was like, I think it was like a porn car. Because it had that bed frame sound to it.
It was so funny.
You guys know the one.
No, they don't. They're so innocent. Leave them alone.
Uh-huh. Have you met some of these people, Brittany?
I have.
They are not innocent.
They are wonderful.
You're not naive enough to believe they're innocent.
I don't even know what you're talking about. That's what you guys do. If Rick ever pins you in a corner, just tell him I don't know what you're talking about. Works every time.
Airtime.
Every time. And then he'll just laugh at you and be like, whatever, and walk away.
I'm just going along with what you said because I have no idea what you said.
Yep.
Oh gosh, she left. It's just me. Hi. No, she didn't leave. She just had a quick errand she had to run. And one of the things I hate the most about older cars is the older a car gets, and I think this car is only about 7 years old. In 7 years, though, there's a good chance somebody put Armor All on stuff. And yeah, so that's where we're at right now. So as well as these door panel covers stick to these doors, the Armor All says, not this door. So we're going to hurry up and pull that off. And this is what I'll typically do, is the sooner you can get the door panel cover off, if you know your water's getting behind it, and then get that wiped off. A lot of you guys might know about General Motors and the streaking issue they have on the door panels. But you notice if you're quick about it, you get no streaking issues. So that's always a plus. And then we're going to just try not to get them further wet, because that would be bad.
Oh. Once upon a time, I was tinting a truck, and I went and wiped down the door panel, and it had it was one of the ones with like a big pocket on the bottom of the door.
Oh.
And so I took my hand with the towel and went down into that pocket to wipe it up, and something slimy touched my hand.
I'm going to tell you guys, she may or may not have vomited that day.
It was somebody's like chew spit. Like they were chewing tobacco and trying to spit out the window. And instead they were spitting down the door into the pocket. And it was on my hand. Somebody's spit was on my hand.
The noises that came out of her mouth.
Oh, the moment I realized it was like instant horror.
Actually, Brittany, I think that was the moment you decided you were not going to be a tinner.
I mean, it wasn't long after that, certainly.
Yeah, I think that was kind of a deal breaker.
Maybe it was a contributing factor because people are gross. I'd rather work on the outside of their vehicles.
Did I do okay? Does it look good? Holy cow. And by the way, everybody that says that two-staging, you always get those things along the edges. Not always. But that's just me. Because, like I told you before, I'm just that freaking good. I'm just practicing telling everybody that I'm the best. I usually don't do that, but I got to practice because everybody else says they're the best, and then they go to these competitions and they don't be the best. You know, Brian from Korea, He doesn't tell everybody he's the best. He just goes and wins the competition. And one day, nah, I don't compete. I just don't. So he will always be the best, and I will always just tell you I'm the best. Hey, what are you doing over here? Hello. Thank you. Follow me. Oh, we have our chat again.
Yeah.
Is
Those
it
are
'cause
easy to bottom load.
they
Jose
are?
says. He says so.
What if you're not a very good bottom loader? Because like since I don't bottom load,
No. This story is outrageous, and you're all going to be offended on my behalf. So when Rick was teaching me to tint, I was going home at night watching YouTube videos. I saw a video of somebody bottom loading, and I said, wow, this is so cool. Why don't we do this? Because he was teaching me to two-stage, right? So I go into the shop next day, and I'm like, Rick, I found this. It's crazy. It looks so cool. And he starts rattling questions. Well, how are you going to stop contamination here? And how are you going to do this? And how are you going to do that? And it's like, dude, like I just saw a YouTube video. Like, I don't know. And then months go by. He was like, no, you're not doing that. Whatever. Months go by. And he bottom loaded, what was it? It was a back window on a sedan. I don't remember what it was.
well, I'll bottom load like the roll down quarter windows on like two-door Mercedes, BMWs with the hardtop, but the back window rolls down and it rolls down funny. Like you can't really two-stage that window. I mean, I used to, but I would have struggles in the back top section of it. And so if you bottom load those, they just drop in nice and easy. And it's a quarter, so I'm kind of used to handling a whole piece of film for a quarter window anyway.
Yeah, so whatever it was, he ended up bottom loading it. And he gets done and he looks at me and he says, wow, that was so easy. Why didn't we do this sooner?
Yeah, I used to fight with those windows. But I also, in my own defense, I decided one day I'm going to bottom load a door. I felt like I was trying to throw a football 50 yards left-handed, and I'm not left-handed. I felt like I was trying to play baseball left-handed. I was trying to do a lot of things left-handed. And the thing is, I just couldn't. I mean, I'm all like I felt like, you know, those dinosaur costumes with the
blow-up
floppy
ones?
head and
Yeah,
the little,
I love
yeah,
those.
that's kind of what I felt like trying to tint that window, you know. And I've over 30 plus years. I'm 35 years next month in this industry doing this, and over that course of time, when you're a two-stager for that long, you've found efficiency, you found a rhythm, and just like the fold lines on the windows, I don't get those because I found a way to not get those, you know, and all the other things. I do a fine job, and now I try this bottom load thing and it just feels foreign as hell to me. And I'm trying to think of what would be the benefit of ripping a door panel back, pulling the gasket out, dropping a piece of film in there just to have to put it all back together, and then learning all these different cars on how that comes apart. I don't know what the benefit would be to doing that. Brittany's hoping she'll have a little less forehead in the shot.
God, I'm hoping. Okay, that's better.
It
Less
is
wrinkles.
better. Less wrinkles.
No, that's what it was. It was showing my wrinkles.
Oh, that's your angry mom lines.
They are. They are. Hey, no one asked you.
Well, see, they're back. See how that goes so quick?
Turn this way.
Jamal, though, I watched Jamal bottom load a ton on his videos, and he makes it look so effortless. You can tell that that's his go-to. That's his norm, you know, and everybody's got their different way of doing different things. And I can't knock anybody. You know, my philosophy, though, is if you don't have to take it apart, there's probably less steps involved, even though one is bottom loading, it's kind of a one-shot thing, and the other is two-staging, which in the name, it tells you there's two stages. but it's a trade-off, and I don't think one is faster than the other. I don't think one is. I know that everyone's like, "Oh, you get a cleaner job when you don't get a cleaner job than the windows that I tint unless you do," and that probably didn't make a ton of sense, but
Well, honestly, I think that PPF installers have a little bit of a better understanding than tinners do about it, because tinners are all about having big dick competitions with each other. Do you hand cut? Do you plotter cut? Do you two stage? Do you bottom load? Do you do this? Do you do that? And a lot of them are like, oh, if you don't do it the way I do, you're a freaking hack.
oh god, I
PPF
hate people like
installers,
that.
on the other hand, recognize and realize that there's space at the table for all of us. We can all eat, you know? So
I think
where I like installing patterns, and that's where I'm comfortable, except on mirrors, and
Right.
whatever, like there's other people who can bulk just as fast as I can install patterns.
bulk everything too.
You know, and so there's it's going to depend on the installer what the best thing is. If bottom loading gets you the results you're looking for to satisfy your customers, then it's the correct choice for you. If two staging does that and that's where you're comfortable, then that's correct. It doesn't make one right or wrong, but a lot of tinners really struggle with the concept that more than one thing can be true at a time.
Well, and that's the bottom line. And I think that maybe part of the reason why PPF installers get it easier than tinners get it is because PPF installers, there's a real investment in yourself to even just become a PPF installer. You know, that shit doesn't fall into your lap. You don't go to YouTube and say, I'm going to learn how to PPF install. But you can go to Amazon and spend $30 on tools and you got everything you need to tint a car. And then you can go to YouTube for free and spend a bunch of hours learning the do's and don'ts of whoever you're watching does things. And before you know it, you've got a little bit of time under your belt and you're a tinner and you know everything except for business. The guy that has to invest into himself or herself and actually become the business is going to be a little more business minded. And so let's break that down. This is a business, whether you like it or not. We're tinting windows for customers. Why are we doing that? Not because my dick's bigger than yours and not because I can do it faster than you can, but because I need to put food on my table at home. I need to feed my family. I have kids that might want to go to college. I got a house that I might want to purchase. I might want to actually have a car payment. And that all requires money. So if I look at the business side of things and how can I do that and how can I grow that, then I do whatever's most efficient for me. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh no, you can't tint a car in an hour. You got to take your time. I need at least 3 hours. I take the door panels. And that's cool for you. But if you're trying to start a business, grow a business, and maybe eventually either hand down that business or sell that business, that's not going to get you there. You got to make the business be able to run itself and you got to make it run efficiently so that it's desirable in the future. And I understand that most of us between the age of 29 and 35, at least me, I didn't think that there was ever a retirement day. I didn't think that I was ever not going to be tinting. Mary has announced the time. It's 5:30, so I hope everybody is aware of that. Unless you're Central Time, then it might be 4:30. And there's other time zones too. Not sure how that had anything to do with this, but that's where we're at. But so the bottom line, it's really simple. We're just trying to grow a business that's going to carry our future and hopefully one day allow us to stop doing it and still get by with money. You might have side gigs like stocks and things like that. Some people actually buy real estate and do rentals. I mean, there's a lot of different ways. But if you want to grow your tent business and have it carry you the rest of your life, then there's no one way to do it. what you're looking for is the most efficient way to do it for you to make your customers the happiest so that they'll return to you, you know,
And send their friends.
and send their friends.
But
That's
only if
really
they're a cool
important.
customer. If not, we don't want them.
Yeah, we have customers, and I don't know if we still have them, but there are some undesirable customers that just won't go away.
Or like there have been times where we've had like a really amazing customer refer a friend, and their friend is like the biggest a-hole on the planet.
Oh, that
And
does
you're
happen.
like, first of all, how are you guys friends? And second of all, please, I invite you to be somebody else's customer because no.
But that's one of the drawbacks to running a well-run business. You know, people of all sorts want to do business with you, and so when you get to the point where you get undesirable customers and they keep coming around, just raise your prices. The higher your prices, the more your less desirable customers will come around, and or
The less your
the
less
less
desirables.
your less desirables come around, and the more your more desirables come around. It's kind of it's weird. Fear doesn't allow most people to do that, but it's reality.
Jose, he's working hard on the channel to make sure that he can be as helpful as possible, make everyone's lives easier. He's trying to show everyone how to take all these different cars apart and updating them as necessary. But he said some people message me thanking me because they figure out how to remove something thanks to my video.
Yeah, well, and that's huge. You know,
It's
because
always cool when that happens.
that's the other thing about bottom loading. You know, it's building in a whole lot more things to learn. You know, I understand the concept of bottom loading is way simpler than the concept of two staging, you know, and getting the same quality of job. But as Jamal knows, there is a lot behind the scenes that if you don't know, you start breaking shit. You know, because not every door panel just pops off at the top, but many of them do. And if you just grab every door and start yanking at the top, you're going to find out real quick that, oh,
What ones don't?
yeah, that just broke. And so, anyways, we are done tinting, and we do have a rule here that when there's no more time for more jobs to come in, even if it's not 6 o'clock, it's time to go home because we've been here all day. So I really appreciate you guys hanging out, and the ones that are still here, I appreciate you more than the ones that already left, but only a little bit. Anyways, until next Tuesday, you'll probably see me at the warehouse, but we'll see what we can do about coming back here every now and again, especially this summer. But until then, we'll see you guys later.
Bye, guys. It was nice seeing you.